But D.C. is now safe. The restaurants are booming. The place is booming. We have no crime. You can walk with your family down the middle of any street, go to a restaurant, you won't get in. They're opening new restaurants all over.
New this morning, a new Washingtonian investigation is shining a light on what many restaurant owners in D.C. say they can't say publicly.
Food editor Jessica Sidman reports that while the Trump administration claims the city's dining scene is, quote, booming, many restaurants are actually facing a Trump-era slump with fewer diners, scared staff, and new pressure from immigration crackdowns, federal layoffs, and security surges. Jessica is here with us now to break down what's really happening inside of D.C.'s restaurants and really what this means for the city. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
All right, your reporting paints a very different picture from what the White House is saying, talking about boomtown. This is a claim that they're making. What did the restaurant owners actually tell you about what is really happening behind the scenes?
Yeah, in fact, what the president said is the opposite of what is the reality on the ground. The fact is that this has been a very difficult year for DC restaurants, many comparing it even to the pandemic. And a big part of that does have to do with things that are, the effects of this administration.
I was in Georgetown the other day, and one of the restaurants I was at was saying, hey, the service is slow because people didn't come to work and they were dealing with some staffing issues. I'm curious, how have policies like the immigration crackdown and National Guard deployments affected everyday business for restaurateurs and some of their staff even?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure we all remember in August when the National Guard was first deployed. It really had this chilling effect on people going out in the city. One restaurateur who has a business downtown, for example, said that his business was down 30% in August compared to the previous year. And there's so many similar stories to that. And obviously the immigration crackdown has also been a huge component. It's no secret that the restaurant industry is run by immigrants. And, I think when we talk about this topic, we think about just undocumented workers. And there are some of those and some have been detained. But it's also, people who have legal status who are still afraid. And especially, back in August, when there was all this law enforcement activity, many calling in sick, afraid to go to work.